Welcome to Oink Time Pod. I'm Jen Carnovale.
I'm Ben Ellwood.
This is a podcast where Benny and I chat to very interesting people. We pick a word out of a hat and tear it apart. If you like our Oink Time Pod, can you share it with other piggies?
Please share it.
Share it, rate it, 5 stars it.
Recommend it.
Tell people. Spread the little piggy pie. If you want to contact us, I'm sorry, it's terrible. You can tweet at us at OinkTimePod. We have some very exciting news.
Oh, my Lord. We've got another live show, guys. It's looking like it's going to be a monthly affair at the Comedy Lounge in Sydney, or the Cafe Lounge, should I say, in Surrey Hills. We are on December 2nd at 6 p.m. And, man, we've got a cracking lineup of guests. Tom Walker, great Sydney comedian, and another great Sydney comedian, Amanda Gray.
It's going to be awesome. It's our Christmas show. Come check it out. It's going to be sick. We need to, of course, thank our awesome sponsors, Young Henry's Brewery. Thank you for giving us the beer. And our wonderful producer, Sean Allen, and his podcast, In Brackets, with Sean Allen.
And dudes, today's guest, the wonderful comedian, Luke Heggie. And the word is pride.
Pride.
Luke Heggie.
Nice.
What are your thoughts on the Perth comedy scene?
Oh, brilliant. Every single one of them.
I think comedy is one of those things that people think that they can naturally do because, you know, most people are kind of funny with their friends.
Yeah.
And so, you know, and that's when it turns into comedy storytelling or comedy poetry or comedy whatever.
Comedy poetry.
Like, it's the only art form where people are like, oh, yeah, I could give that a go. That'd be easy.
Well, yeah, the barriers to entry is zero. That's why there's so many fucking lunatics doing it, isn't it?
What did you say? The barrier entry?
The barriers to entry.
Oh, yeah. But also it's cool now. Like, I feel like when we started, it wasn't cool.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was just something that kind of weirdos did, whereas now it's like a branch of the entertainment industry. And
there are a lot more dudes doing it from when I started, like sort of popped your collar, like leaning on the mic stand, like doing the pose when they're 12. There wasn't that as much when I started. There was more grotty men like Benny.
Fuck off.
Disgusting pigs.
But don't you think that's what it should, like, not to say, that's what it should be. It should be a place for misfits.
I miss those days.
Yeah, because now it's like it's the age of the bully comic or the jock comic. You know what I mean? Like the fucking, I've really got my shit together and I'm here to fucking talk down to you, scum.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'm into that.
It's one or the other. They've got all their shit together or they're hospitalised every other week. I feel like the open mic scene is a real fucking petri dish of just filth and unhealthy minds. Like every other week someone's like, oh, did you know that open micer who gigged once 12 months ago, now they're in hospital again? I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I had no exposure to mental illness before comedy.
Me neither.
Never knew about it.
Mental
No,
illness?
seriously though.
I didn't know. Well, I knew there's mental illness people, but I didn't have anyone in my world who was quite as fucking fucked up as you people.
I remember hanging out at
You're the only one here that makes a living out of stand-up comedy. Anyway, sorry.
I remember hanging out like years and years and years ago with you, Benny, at the back of the Friend in Hand, and Blake Mitchell, who's like an old friend. And he was talking about how shit his life was. And I was still relatively new to comedy. And I just remember being like, oh, yeah, but, you know, you just got to try and have perspective. Like having zero understanding of the hole he was in. And then I hung around for long enough and I was like, oh, this is it.
I remember going to Blake's show in Melbourne with you, in fact.
Oh, really?
At the Tuxedo Cat.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was fucking brilliant.
Really good, but also just absolutely crazy. I loved it.
I reckon he created a form of comedy called horror whimsy.
Oh, man.
You know, where it's like, it's whimsical, but it makes you feel deeply uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And like you're covered in dirt.
I think also he'd purchased like a massive bag of baby dolls, so he had to find a way to use them 2 years ago. It's like, it was great. It was awful for someone who'd wandered in, and there's like a reviewer there repulsed. So
just really distressed.
Nude at the end, throwing naked babies at people.
Was that the one where like he ended the show in a diaper full of Nutella and he was like spooning it out with his hands and eating his own shit in front of him? Yeah. It was like completely fucking horrible, but it was so great, you know.
Doesn't sound great.
But there's none of that. I don't know. Like there's like. I'm not saying that you should go out of your way to make the audience uncomfortable, but there seems to be a real kind of pullback from that in comedy now, like that idea of like maybe making the audience unsettled or uncomfortable or whatever.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I mean, there's a
know.
difference between being uncomfortable and a grown man pretending to eat his own shit out of a nappy. I mean,
that's fucking hilarious. Like,
No.
in the right context, come on.
oh yeah, my bad. I wasn't factoring in the right
Don't forget
context. I'm really
Jen,
sorry.
you
Yeah,
snob.
it's true.
Well, I don't know. Like, it seems now that, like, because it's, like, very popular, there's, like, much more kind of onus on... I don't know. I feel like people in comedy now are afraid to be a bit unhinged. Like, genuinely
And so
unhinged.
you're just doing it for everyone else?
No, I mean, I'm just who I am now. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like,
Amen, sister.
I do comedy for 6 months of the year and then swear I'll never do it again and then come crawling back and you know what I mean? But, like, it seems like there's more consequence to being a liability now.
Yeah, right. Oh, if everyone's got their eyes on the prize, yeah. They forget
but
they're supposed to be
what's
funny.
the prize?
I don't fucking know. The privileged comedy, like you're talking about before, popped collar comedy, the best.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not interested in what they say, but they've seen someone become famous and rich from it, and they want to do that, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah. It's so weird that chasing of fame or success or something, because I think people don't realise it's like, unless you had your shit together on some level before you got all that stuff, that ain't going to fix you and ain't going to make you happy.
Oh, fuck no. Yeah.
But you know what I think people like it for is because it's something to strive for in stand-up. It's something to, like, try and achieve.
Making it.
Well, because it's whatever that means, because it's so hard to, I guess, figure out where you are. There's no grading or there's no way of saying you've powered up unless you go from being unpaid to paid. But I think once people reach that point, they want some form of, like, I don't know, an acknowledgement that they've gotten better or something, and they look for whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Little
I mean,
road
it doesn't mean
markers.
shit.
I mean,
but-
I've dabbled in being a full-time comedian, and it's great. Like, it's a fucking
I
nice life.
thought you do it full time.
No, I'm a builder's labourer. I do comedy on the side. I do,
You do it pretty fucking
comedy on
full
the
time.
side.
I do all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
All the time. But like this week I'm doing 4 unpaid spots, which
Yeah.
I love. I love it. But that's not fucking feeding the kids, is it? You got to do shit.
Yeah.
And every now and then I'll get offered do you want to be an actor in this new Australian comedy? I go, yeah, right, eh? And they go, we want you to be average Aussie cunt. Okay. But you still got to audition. And you're going, okay. And then they tell you you're not even good enough to be.
well,
It's literally called any cunt. And
I would rather go for
You're
any
not-
cunt actor than she's not a model. She's definitely not a looker. Definitely your average girl with a lot of personality.
That's still better.
That's what I get.
I get constantly cast as dumb Aussie dad.
Yeah.
Dumb,
Right.
middle-aged Aussie dad.
Papa Benny.
Every commercial I've got, it's like that cliche dad, like, duh, I'm dad putting carrots in a fucking wood chipper, duh. Like that kind of awful cliche. I think I've told you this story.
Yeah.
But this is what fucking entertainment does to people.
Yeah.
I was at an audition for a fucking, some shit NRMA ad or something.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in the waiting room doing the thing where you fill out your details.
Yeah.
And then a guy we know, I'll tell you who it is off air, but he's very he's very tall.
Yep.
And some would say, on the handsome side.
It's not my partner, by the way.
Not fucking me, is it?
No, it's definitely
It's
not.
you.
Yeah. No. He's a guy that, like, for all
It is
intents and
Heggie.
purposes, if he was walking down the street, people would go, oh, he's a tall, attractive man.
Yeah.
I think that's.
And so, well, compared to, me. I
Oh,
feel like
Benny!
no,
Yeah.
like in terms of just like a classical definition of good looking in the Western civilization, he trumps me, whatever. So I'm filling out my form and he comes in and he's like peering over my shoulder looking at me filling the form out. And he sees because there's a section where it's like, have you done any ads this year? And I'd gotten 3 in a row in a short amount of time.
Great.
I was like, oh, 3 ads? 3 ads this year? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's no compliment. They keep casting me as, dumb Aussie dad.
Yeah.
And I don't believe he was being cruel or even self-aware, but he goes, oh, man, you're so lucky. You've just got such a great dad bod for landing commercials.
Nice.
But it's like,
People
what I mean?
always find something to be jealous of.
It's like,
fucking
you.
awesome. Yeah.
I've got the most fucking deep-seated body dysmorphia issues about being a dumpy fucking middle-aged dad bod, and you think it's some kind of bragging right because I landed a fucking Holden commercial. It's so ridiculous.
It's great. A few years ago, I was working on a building, similar sort of thing. I was working on a building site. There's this 18-year-old apprentice there. And I was in the skip sorting out because, we're chucking off through a chute, 3 levels, chucking out bricks that would cut, bashed out a few walls. I said, right, stop now. I'm going to get in and move them around because it's just a big pile in the middle. Got in. He forgot. A minute later and threw a chunk of bricks down and it hit my leg. From 3 feet. I thought like, it was the most painful thing. I was I was in bed for a month.
Really?
I had crushed muscle and shit. Didn't break my leg.
Really?
Probably would have been better. It
Well,
was
it's
awful.
bricks.
And I was one of those
still.
dicks where I was walking around with a walking stick to gigs and shit. I get back to work after a month. I'm still limping around and stuff. And he goes, "Oh, mate, you're so lucky you weren't here during those hot days. It was so hot last week." So, was it, dickhead? Yeah. Still hot in
Fucking
my
hobbled
bed.
me, cunt. No, it's true,
Just
right?
completely no idea that they're,
Yeah.
it's fucking unbelievable.
It's that whole,
It's
like,
great.
people
I
with
love that.
short hair, with curly hair want straight hair, and people with straight hair want curly hair. It's just that constant dissatisfaction.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that.
I don't do auditions anymore for ads. I just fucking don't do them. I've never ever gotten anything from an audition. Not once.
You never.
How many have you been on?
I've been on a couple of ads, but a couple of little bits and pieces of other sort of shit, ad related or whatever,
TV
stuff, anything. I don't get much anyway. But generally, my employers now, no, I'm all right, thanks. And if they want you, they'll ask for you. And you go, well, if you want me to do it, I'll do it. It's not that complex, but I'm not fucking coming in. I'm not taking another half day off work to get told that I'm not good enough to be any Aussie dickhead. So I'm not doing it. And it's gone better since. But my last audition the last one I did a couple of years ago, I went in some bank ad, I think, and I auditioned for something. And then I didn't get it, obviously. Yeah. And I saw the ad. Like, I watch hardly any TV. It was a coincidence. It must have been movies or something. I saw the ad, and there's like a 50-year-old black woman playing the part that I auditioned for. I go, what? That tipped me over. I'm just, what the fuck was I doing in there? Why do they have me in there? It's insane.
You were so bad at your audition, they replaced you with the exact diametric opposite of who you are.
Well, my thing on it is that I think those casting agencies just need to go to the client, look, we auditioned 200 fuckwits.
Yeah, they do.
And what we came up with was a model. And it was the one we originally thought of, but we still auditioned 200, wasted 200 people's fucking time to come up with this. That's my thing on it, and I hate it. I'm not doing it.
Have you ever auditioned for an ad that you didn't get, and then you saw it a couple of months later, and you were just washed over with relief that you never got the ad because it was so mortifying and humiliating for the person that did get it?
I don't see them much.
Felt that during the audition. Like, I've done an audition where I'm like,
but then people don't, unless you're going to be Dougie the Pizza Boy, no one gives a fuck. No one remembers you or me or...
No.
They just, it washes over. It's gone in 6 months. And
Here's hoping.
you've made a fat stack of cash. It's
Well, you're getting harassed quite a bit lately.
Yeah.
I saw you on a Woolworths ad.
You're on the Woolies ad. Yeah.
Jesus
And in the beginning, I was like, no, it's my twin. And then people were like, do you have a twin? And then you'd see them go, hang on, you don't have a
Christ.
twin.
Are these strangers?
Oh, yeah. Or just
Jesus.
people around.
But it's weird. There's a certain...
Not random, not total strangers, but yeah, it's weird.
There's a contingent of like the television watching public that think that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like my mum, I've told her about all the things that I've achieved in my life, and it's been like, whatever. And then I got an NRMA ad, and it's like, oh, you're on the TV.
Yeah.
And it's like, uncredited. It's playing a fucking stupid dad.
Well, I remember, so when I got to do the Comedy Central stand-up thing, the same time that came out, a Samsung ad I did came out. Everyone, I was like, are you on an ad for Samsung? Yeah, that's what's exciting for me. Not the thing I'm fucking doing for a decade that I'm so pumped about. If people don't even know would just write to me and be like, are you on a Samsung ad? And then you'd write back, go, yeah, how you going? And then I'd hear nothing. And I was like, fucking
Just
dick.
confirming. Our friend Dave Eastgate talks about that. He'll get on stage sometimes and list all of his theatre credits and film
Seen him do it.
credits and
It's
TV
great.
credits. He's like, do you remember me from any of these things? And it's always just dead silent. He's like, all right, do you remember this Westpac ad with the personification of a mortgage? And everyone's like, oh, yeah, you are that guy.
Yeah.
Why is it so frustrating?
Jesus Christ.
It just is. It just is
Nick Cody got an ad for Samsung telephones, and he got paid a chunk of cash, did the ad, and then it turned out to be the ones that blew up, so it didn't go to air. What a
fuck
fucking
yeah.
result. That's the best thing that could ever
definitely.
happen.
That is so lucky.
Amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Is there a
lucky.
product either of you guys would voluntarily gladly do an ad for? Like gladly put your face to a product?
Oh, I don't know.
Nah, probably not.
I
would.
I would.
You mean I'd
Would
be
you?
excited?
Like not get paid? You-
No. But like,
okay.
I'm
Oh,
Luke
you'd be happy with
Heggie, and
your
I'm
face
here
off.
to speak for blah, blah, blah.
Oh, right. Yeah, probably.
Depends how much you're getting paid. I'd be fucking
Well, that
glad if
defeats
it was
his-
a shit ton of money.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
we're
of
assuming
course.
that money
We'll
is
do a
never-
shit ton of money for a shit one. You do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you've done
that too.
But I'm
yeah.
saying, is there a product that you love so much that you would be happy to have your face attached to it?
Oh, that's interesting.
Probably not. I can't think of anything that I love that much that's like a
I
product
can't
that I
think
would
of something
advertise.
that I love so much, or why anyone would want me to advertise their thing.
Why? What do you want to advertise?
I'd advertise
the
Squatty
poo
Potty.
thing? Yeah.
For sure.
Squatty Potty.
Yeah, it's like the
the
footstool-
pony one. There's a great ad for that, isn't there? Have you
I
seen
don't
it?
know. They've got a great sense of humour, the company.
Oh man,
Because it's
there's
like,
a
it's
top
all
ad.
shit
Probably
products.
2 years ago or something when it came out. if it's squatty potty, I think it's that.
It's a little bench that you put your feet on to raise your knees up above your shoulders while you shit.
Ben's so into it.
I love those things so fucking much. Oh, well, you know, what kind of level 2. Level 2. Maybe nipple height, maybe shoulder.
Yeah, right. That's stirrups and.
No, I would gladly advertise that one. I feel like that.
Yes, I know.
I feel like it's
funny,
yeah, I feel like it's very beneficial to my life. And
you should pitch yourself to them. See what happens.
I think he has.
I have. I wrote them a letter.
What did they say? Did they say anything?
Yeah, man.
Oh, really?
Because I was doing that
That's nice.
colorectal show, and I sent them a letter going, "Oh, if I end up doing this in the festivals, would you be interested in corporate sponsorship?" Because my dream was to have everyone in the audience having to place their feet on a squatty potty while they watch the show.
Yeah.
And
Will
they
they
were
shit themselves? Does it induce? Like, does it? You know,
No. You've already. No, it doesn't just open. It doesn't
like an hour
gape your
of doing
asshole
that.
open
No,
and
but
it'll
like
just
for
start
an
falling
hour.
out.
Would you just
Maybe.
think, oh, this
You'd
is
probably
comfy.
at least
And then-
fart.
Well, it just turns your colorectal passage into a right angle.
Yeah.
So everything, if there is something in the docking bay, it's ready to go out. You know what I mean? It doesn't fold in half. So yeah, probably if you're sitting there for an hour.
Glad that we got back to this topic. We haven't talked about your ass for a while.
I
I think it's been at least one episode. So. I'm really glad that we could somehow shoehorn it in.
Excellent.
Man, well, you know, it's my life, huh? It's
It
my
certainly
lived
is.
experience. What can I say?
Benny and his butt. Yeah, so should we get to the hat?
Let's go to the hat.
Pick a word out, Heggie. Drum roll.
Is it just a one-word thing?
Well, yeah.
I mean, you know, go whatever.
Who did the pink one? That's some
It's whatever it inspires in you. What is the word?
fucking hell. It's pride, isn't it?
Pride.
Ah.
What does that inspire in you?
Pride. I'm not, traditionally known as a proud man. Hence the
Have you heard of the Proud Boys?
Yes, of course.
Have you heard of the Proud Boys, Heggie?
No.
It's like a group. See, a guy that we know got into this, and he convinced me about 2 years ago that it was a good thing, but they've since turned, maybe they always
They were
were.
never a good thing.
Well, he always, so the Proud Boys is like Gavin Newsom, I think. He's the guy that co-created Vice.
Yeah, right.
And he's created this kind of alt-right men's club called the Proud Boys. And I believe that their big thing is
there's a thing in this. They got a
don't
chapter in
wank.
Australia.
Yeah. They don't.
Yes.
Well, that's how it was
I heard of
originally
the Proud
presented to me. Oh, they just don't watch porn.
I
and
thought
they
you were
don't
going to say
wank.
it's a sketch group or something, but yeah, I do know. You say
It's a
that.
sketch
I
group
know.
of sorts. They do kind of live
Yeah,
performance art. Yeah, but like when that was first explained to me, that didn't sound like such a bad thing. Don't watch porn and don't wank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then, like, you know,
Why?
Ticking time bomb. That's why they're so aggressive.
Yeah, that's why they're so fucking angry.
I mean, it's going out bashing people who look a bit funny. That's them, isn't it?
well, they I think they've started all these Proud Boy Fight Club chapters.
Yeah, right.
Where they all meet and
You gotta
like,
do something.
it's like 17-year-olds the first time they see Fight Club, like missing the point
Yeah,
entirely.
yeah,
Let's go
yeah.
and bash the shit out of each other.
God, it's so fucking weird.
Yeah, pride is weird, right? I feel like if you do comedy for long enough, it's not something you can really hold on to.
No, I find like people are overly proud. It's a deadly sin, isn't it? Pride.
But not overly proud, but having pride in yourself, I interpret, or maybe I'm interpreting it wrong. Because when you were saying you're not a proud man, I don't know if it's because I'm comparing you to other people that we know, but you hold yourself in a way that's...
I'm joking. I'm
much-
fairly proud,
yeah.
but not...
When you look at the people we're around.
Oh, I don't hate myself nearly as much as...
That's exactly what I was
Fuck me.
Like they're on the floor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I certainly don't love myself either. I find that appalling in comedians.
Loving themselves.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's a bit obnoxious.
I think it's appalling in humans in general.
Well, yeah, but
But you seem to have a very good sense of self just in general. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe inside your skull it's a fucking hellscape. But
no. I mean, I'm all right.
yeah. But
But,
it's like, is that something that you had to work towards, or is it something that you kind
No,
of
I've
you've
always
felt
been
like you
just
know
sort
who
of
you are?
fairly whatever. I
Level?
just fucking take it as it comes. Yeah, but I mean, having said that, I've pretty much failed everything I've attempted as an adult, so I'm not.
Really?
I just came to terms with it. It's fine.
Coming to terms with failure is a really healthy thing to do. I think.
I came to terms early with that. I just sort of never did anything I wasn't good at straight away. Just went, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking. Not that I don't want to be a world champion or anything. I couldn't give a shit. But I played golf twice. It was two of the worst days of my fucking life. I'm really disappointed that I went back the second time. I got sort of coerced into doing it the second time. I knew I had a shit time.
Why, 'cause you were bad at it?
I fucking hated it. Like,
Because
I
you
was
were bad
not
at
only
it.
bad at it.
Yeah.
I was very bad at it.
Yeah.
But also just
Didn't like it. But did you not like it because you were bad at it?
Probably. I was fairly young, but also it's just a shit time.
But it's that thing of like, if it's something like, I'm like that with chess. Like, I wish that I was great at chess, but I know that I don't have the commitment to get good at chess.
Yeah.
So
Chess, you got to find someone who's exactly your level.
Yeah.
And
dude,
play
I get
with
beaten
them
by
every day.
7-year-olds. I get fucking
they're
trounced.
better than you. Like,
I know they're better than me.
You got to find.
Go
No, you got to
lower.
find an adult. That, like a.
like an adult with the fucking intellectual capacity of a 6-year-old.
Well, no, it's not. It's just those 6-year-olds are being abused and stuff. They're not right. It's not intellectual capacity. They're very good at chess, but see them on the open mic scene in 15 years. What they're fucking doing, they'll be no good.
But it is that thing of like not wanting to play because it's like I know I'm never going to play this enough to get good at it. So fucking, it's just a deeply same with bowling.
Don't you think that's
I
normal
hate
though?
bowling so much.
Heaps of people don't do
like
shit.
10 pin or
I hate
lawn.
it. And pool, I hate it. Like, I just won't participate because it's like I know I suck at it and I know I don't have that kind of focus to even
You would
try
save
to
it pretty quick, though. I suppose the difference with golf is fucking all day. You've ruined that day.
You really hate golf.
Yeah. I hate people who play it. I hate the fucking equipment. I hate the amount of land they take up. And, it's gross.
Yeah.
I can't imagine people who fucking watch it. Can you imagine? That's on TV. Can you imagine?
It seems to just be something that once you're above a certain pay grade, it's just something you do by default without question. It's so strange.
Yeah, every corner office has got one of those fucking carpet putters. And machine and shit. Yeah.
My doctor's one of the funniest, most intelligent guys I've known in my life, and he plays golf, and I can only imagine it's because he's above a certain socioeconomic bracket.
But there's also, like, I know a lot of people who are my age with kids, my kids' age and stuff, and they've been playing golf. Like, you got some fucking balls just saying to your family, see you cunts, I'm on for 8 hours every Saturday. See you later.
Playing golf.
That is
As opposed to
amazing.
see your cunts enjoy dinner, I'm off to go and entertain people for free in a shithole
That's
pub.
at the end of the day. I've been there all day. They go out, leave for 8 hours. Probably come home when the kids are in bed.
Yeah, but that's probably the only thing that's keeping their family together.
No. Well, yeah, that was it. But yeah, it's not my thing, really. But good on you. If you do play golf, get them up. Have a bloody lovely time.
It is the widest of most imperialist of sports, right? Like
Yeah.
just land clearing and fucking... it's very strange. And the whole idea of a caddy and a golf boy and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Robin Williams used to have a bit about how all the old white dudes got so freaked out and offended by Tiger Woods when he came onto the scene. Because they're like, what is this? They're all there looking fucking ancient and disgusting.
Oh, man.
I can't say I've ever played golf.
What would you be most proud of then, Elwood? Where do you place your pride? Or am I not supposed to? Is this for me?
No. It's for all of us. It's for all of us.
Yeah.
What am I most... that's fucking tough. Because it's so weird. Like, the whole culture's geared towards punishing you if you are proud of something that you've done well.
Especially...
fucking, calm down, mate.
Yeah, especially this country. Like,
Yeah,
this
definitely.
Definitely. You say you want to go into showbiz in America, they're like, good on you, buddy.
Yeah.
Stars here, like, what's your plan B, fuckhead?
Yeah,
when are you going back to building? That sort of...
But don't you think that that's also kind of an extension of the reality of where we are? That, it's a long shot in America, but in Australia it's even bigger long shot because there's no industry and there's no real culture and people don't... Like, think of the most famous Australian... And I'm not talking about, like, Russell Crowe and Nicole Kidman who've gone to different countries to make it.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest Australian... We don't have celebrities, we've got personalities.
Yeah.
But think of the biggest Australian personality.
Yeah.
Who's the most
Yeah,
famous?
who's still
Like,
here.
Yeah. Some game show host.
Yeah, exactly.
or
And if you
something.
saw them walking down the street, people wouldn't freak out. People would just be like, oh, it's Bert Newton. Well, well, it's Ray Martin. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So I think, I don't know. So I wonder if that tall poppy thing in Australia is just a result of people's knowledge of just like, oh man, like there is
It's a deep-seated, inferiority complex.
Yeah. I mean, and we've always had that. That's why we're so obsessed with American culture and
Fucking
we
oath.
basically are the 51st American state with all the shit we're obsessed with.
And sort of foreign acts coming here, not just in comedy where we're involved, but like anything. Like
Well, I
foreign
mean,
acts.
just
And
look at-
British,
Yeah.
because I think we have a massive influence from the Brits as well.
Well, I mean, arguably our three biggest comedians from Australia are Jim Jeffries, Steve Hughes, and Brendan Burns, and each one of them had to get the fuck out of here and return with a little US, UK next to their name to kind of be thought of as decent. So I don't know. But I do think America goes too far in encouraging everyone to fucking, because I think
Pursue
that's
their dreams.
Yeah, and I think that's what kind of keeps a lot of Americans down. Like that whole, like the reason, Republicans can tax the shit out of the poor because it's that whole, well, when I'm a billionaire, they won't tax me. You're never going to be a billionaire.
Still acting like the American dream's attainable.
Yeah.
It's fucking 100 years ago, that shit, that you could find a nugget of gold or something.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
A really funny friend, comedian from America who lives in the UK, Tim Rankow. He's awesome. He has cerebral palsy, and when he was in America, he said he hated it because people would look at him and be like, oh, you'll never be able to achieve the dream because you're disabled. Whereas in the UK, people didn't care. Yeah, but it's the whole thing of what dream, but it doesn't matter. It's ingrained from when they're little.
It's so fucked up, America. It's like one of my favorite writers once said, America, most other empires conquered the world through military means, but America conquered the world through light. like through cinema.
Yeah.
Just this idea of themselves as this, God-fearing Western society.
Well, the military caught up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Have you done gigs in America?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah?
Yeah, it seems. I mean, I was lucky I did gigs with like cool comics, so I didn't. I did a few open mics in New York, but mainly the main gigs I did were in LA at the Comedy Store and stuff. They were fucking great.
Yeah, cool.
Like, I think you can only appreciate, as an Australian or maybe anyone not living in America, I think you can only really appreciate America when you're in America.
Yeah.
Like, I got it when I was there. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I could see how you could get really caught up in this.
Yeah, I know. But you forget also how good they are at lots of shit. Like, they've got some fucking amazing infrastructure. They've got great country. So they've got lots of good shit and lots of good people.
This is a massive country. I think if we had
fuckwits.
300 million people in our country, we'd have a much richer, more diverse culture as well. And, but Australians will just naturally default into tall poppies. Are you proud of your kids?
Yeah, very much. They're great. Yeah.
Like, what is that like?
Well, they're nice kids. I don't need my kids to be fucking world beaters. I don't give a shit. Like, I just think they're nice kids. They're good. They're polite to adults. They can engage a little bit. I'm proud that more my wife than me has worked really hard on parenting and made sure they're not little turd burgers. I mean, who knows if it'll work long term? But I mean, the damage is done before they're 10 and 8, so damage is done before they're
Before they're 2.
But they've been pretty good kids. They're nice, and we don't watch TV all the live long day or any of that sort of shit.
Yeah, I can't imagine you're a TV, Xbox playing dad.
Well, I can't tell you the last time I watched TV. But the kids don't watch TV either. We watch a movie maybe once every couple of weeks or something, which is whatever. I'm not proud of that. Like, the other parents are just fucking busier. Like, they've just got mortgages and shit, and investments they have to attend to. So of course their kids are brought up by an iPad.
A lot of them just can't be fucked to parent.
Yeah, there's that.
It is worth being proud of.
Yeah.
Also.
But we don't have one, but if we had one, we wouldn't be taking iPads to a fucking restaurant. That's something I'm proud of.
Isn't it the fucking worst when you walk past a restaurant and parents and kids are all...
Yeah. I just think, it's their business. It's not my... I don't give a fuck, really, but...
But you still judge.
You could just... Yeah, absolutely. You just engage with your children. Yeah. Or leave them at home with your nanny or whatever, something. I find that bullshit.
It seems to me very few people are delighted by their own kids.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems to be like it's like, oh,
or excited
God, they're speaking again.
Chris always says the favourite thing he sees with my sister and her husband and their children is my sister will, like, all the time be, like, shocked and laugh at her children. Mm-hmm. Like, she'll be like, did you hear what they said? Like, just so in there with them and, like, the delight or the shock or the excitement that he sees with them, with their children. Yeah. So I guess it doesn't happen all that often.
I do wish that,
lovely.
like, kids, whatever, people talk about kids and shit, but I do wish mine were funnier, because then I could be like one of those, I could just quote things they say on stage, but like all the greats, and do no fucking work on my comedy and just do my kid said this show for a fucking hour and be so easy.
And you'd sell it out because parents are like, my kid does it too.
Yeah, fucking oath.
They're one night out, hired a nanny, they're going to have sex for the first time in a year after your show. Yeah. Get them going.
Yeah.
Great memories. Yeah. Proud of a bunch of stuff, I guess. There you go. Proud I'm not mentally fucking spiraling out of control every day.
But are you proud of it? Or is it just a thing where it's like,
I'm proud of that.
Why? Because it was such a fucking...
Because it could so easily happen. It's so fucking indulgent in comedy. It could so easily... Anyone could so easily just spiral into that, like, woe is me, and then, like, not that mental illness is that, but I don't know. I'm glad that I'm not a comic that's just constantly feeling sorry for myself.
Well, back to what we were talking about earlier, that whole kind of like fucked up comic thing. I think there is that weird kind of compulsion for people to lean into a self-indulgence with their own mental health stuff.
Of course.
Or exaggerate stuff that wasn't really an issue because, hey, it wouldn't be funny if I wasn't depressed.
And it's romantic. They romanticize it. So it's like, oh, I can't get up, but I'm going to go do this open mic. It's like, that's the best thing for your mental health.
Probably getting out of bed's best thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
From what I've seen. Like, getting out of bed's pretty good for your mental health.
It is.
Or
having
just
a meal.
Go so far as to get a fucking job even.
Oh, man.
Some might say, I don't know. I don't want to be a fascist.
No. It's 100%, like interacting with the world on any level. Yeah. Just having a range of experiences. I was listening to this it's having this, like, I was listening to this thing the other day that was so interesting. They were talking about, how they say as you get older, time speeds up. It seems to speed up. But they reckon more and more now, it's not that it's speeding up. It's just that it's the mundanity of experience. So you're just used to it. There's not as much novelty.
You're taking in less, aren't you?
Well, yeah, there's just not as much novelty. So it's just like, check in, check out, go to work, come home, do this, do that. Whereas when you're a kid, everything is novel and new, and you're going to you're going to school, and then you're going to swimming lessons, and then you're going to grandma's house, and then you're coming back home.
Everything's unknown.
Yeah. And so they say, time speeds up, as you get older, just because there's less novelty. So novelty creates a time slippage, whereas... it causes time to slow down, whereas monotony kind of causes it to speed up. So I think when you're doing comedy and you're lost in that kind of like, just do a gig every night but nothing else, I definitely felt like time was just flying by in this really awful way. Yeah,
Were you writing enough material to do gigs
I've never
every
written
night?
material.
No, but, creating enough material.
It's because you're a genius.
Yeah, I'm fucking brilliant. I just get up and talk, mate. No, see, I can't sit down. Do you write?
You write, don't you?
I can't do it.
Yeah.
Every day.
How do you do it?
You just fucking become a man at some stage of your life.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Enough being a fuckwit, I'm going to just do it.
But do you just sit down with like a premise and go, I'm going to write about fucking labouring?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
I don't know.
I'm writing
I've never
about
done
labouring.
No, it's probably a bit more complex than that, mate. I don't know if you'd understand.
What I'm saying is, do you like write and then pull out like, nuggets of gold?
All the time.
So that's what, So it's not
thousands of pages of bullshit. Like, it's disgusting. But also a lot of notes. Now on my phone, it used to be in a notebook, just all day. You just go, generally ending with fucking wanker or cunt. Always mean fucking cunts. And you just try to turn that into something. Every couple of weeks I go through my phone or my notebook and go, all right,
Oh, that's good.
Do a new 5 minutes
I write everything
on this,
down in a notebook. It just works better for me. I remember it a bit better.
I write premises down.
Yeah.
But I can't, my problem is with writing is I have that stupid fucking, and I still haven't been able to shake it into my late 30s, this idea of like, it needs to be letter perfect as you're writing it.
Nah.
You know what I mean? It's like that, you get caught up in reading your favorite authors or whoever, and you're like, whatever, this illusion that, Joseph Heller wrote Catch-22 in one evening.
Yeah.
No, he didn't. It took him 7 years of tinkering with it and back and forth and all that stuff. But, you get so caught up in the best of the best. That, I'm a piece of shit if I can't do the same thing. So to sit there and write for hours and only get one decent sentence out of it, it's like,
If I'm writing in
great.
a notepad, I don't give a shit. If I'm at a computer, I completely understand what you're saying because I feel exactly the same. I don't know why. If I'm in a notepad and I'm just scribbling out ideas, it feels like very casual. But if I'm at a computer, it feels like I need to write it correctly. Like I need to write the whole thing and it needs to be really... It feels like almost so fucking dumb, but it feels like if I'm writing it on my laptop, it's like formal. Not formal, but it's like that's the final bit.
Yeah.
Whereas in a notepad, I just scribble shit all the time.
Well, they say that any creative writing shouldn't happen on computers because you've always got that compulsion to read back a sentence and go, oh no, that sucks, and just hit delete.
Or spelling and stuff. I get distracted.
Yeah. Whereas if you're writing it on a notepad, it's that thing, where it's like, well, the shit sentence might lead to a better sentence a week later when you read it back. But, I don't know. I can't, I feel much more comfortable talking stuff out than writing it.
Yeah.
You're a talker.
I'm the total opposite of... Because I don't trade on likability or any of that. It's got to be all right. It's got to be good material. Otherwise, I'm fucked. I'm
just a really unlikable cunt, so unless I'm fucking
pretty
funny.
Much, yeah. Which is fine. That's.
Do you think you're not likable on stage?
Yes.
Really?
Very much so. Yeah.
I can't tell if I'm
like you
surprised
losers
just 'cause I'm a
do
comic.
because you're at the back of the room and you're comics and you can listen and stuff. But to the general public, absolutely.
Really?
No, that's not true.
No.
I think that's just your fucking self-loathing or perception. That's not seriously. You really think that no one would laugh at you, even if your jokes are funny. If you were fundamentally unlikable, people wouldn't laugh at you.
Oh,
because I think people need to like the person that they're watching to laugh.
They need. There's all sorts of psychology involved. They need to like you enough for you to do something, say some horrible shit.
Yeah.
They need to start to like you a bit. Hence, if you're doing a full show, then your nasty shit's near the end. But fucking on the whole, you're going in cold. You're not going in with goodwill. It's got to be funny, or they've got to like you. And I fucking hate likability. It's disgusting.
It depends if it's false likability.
It's disgusting.
No, I know what you mean. That whole I'm a great guy.
Yeah.
And I'm funny. You're like, no, you're a fucking wrong cunt. And you've learned
Who
how
are
to
those
fucking.
people?
I'm not going to name names, but probably 75% of the fucking scene.
Yeah.
I'm a great guy.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just tune out when they're on stage.
Anyone who's a great guy on stage.
No one's a great guy on stage. No one's on stage who's a great guy.
Yeah,
no great
that's what I
guy
mean.
needs
Like,
to be on stage.
Their life off stage is fucking horrible. They're obviously an awful, awful
Sinister.
person. If
most
they're like that on
demons.
stage, it's pretty much opposite.
Yeah.
Like you're
Yeah.
fucking. You can tell you're a nice guy because on stage you can say some fucking awful things. Yeah, that's fine. Like, but the public don't see that, I suppose. But if you're in comedy all the fucking time, you see that all the time. You just go,
What?
"Oh, I can't."
Fake likability.
Yeah, I can't stand people who just trade off just solely likability the whole time. You go, hang on, what do you do at home, you fucking arsehole?
Well, I think it's a fundamental. I think they have a fundamental self-loathing because if you're afraid of the audience, like not. Because I think it's good when the audience don't like you for certain parts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's at least some kind of tonal difference and people feel like they're going on some kind of journey where there's like a bit of pushback or resistance.
There's some risk.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always risk, but I know what you mean. I'm very much thinking of people now who get up and they're like, I'm everybody's best friend.
Yeah. I'm the guy you want to hang out with after the gig.
Yeah.
No, yuck.
Yucko.
Yeah, but I think it's that thing of like they need the room full of people to tell them they're a good person to validate their kind of, or not validate their feelings of self-loathing. Whereas my favourite trick on stage is to get the audience to hate you and then, in spite of themselves, have them love you again 2 minutes later.
Yeah, right.
Like, I feel like it's the most satisfying fucking laugh that you get from them.
Oh, it's great. If they laugh despite hating you, it's
when they're just at that
that's
point where
the
they're
best
like,
joke in the world. That's
Well,
obviously
getting the
good.
one
yeah.
dude with his arms crossed to crack up does feel good.
Yeah.
I did a gig the other night at like this, at that What She Said room where it's like all chicks on stage. And there was a guy whose girlfriend had clearly dragged him along. He looked like he fucking hated life.
Yeah.
And the whole way through my set, he just sat there with his arms crossed. And I don't even remember what I said. It was a new bit. But I got him and he started laughing and I was like,
Did you say something to
I
him?
didn't even care. Yeah,
I
of course I
fucking
did.
got you, you
Yeah, of
prick.
course I did. Because I was like so
She
enraged by
told you
it.
chicks were funny.
Because every other bit, he was just like, I'm only here because she's made me come. But it was good. It was satisfying. It was way more satisfying because I noticed him more than anybody else. Couldn't really tell you how.
Was he the only bloke there?
There was like two there, and he was one of them, and I could see him really clearly.
Well, does he have that whole attitude of, I'm going to fucking...
No, because he started
Chick
laughing when I was
comedy
teasing
night.
him. He was like, the woman yelling at me.
I still can't get over that you think that you're unlikable on stage.
I can't either. I don't think that is true at all.
I don't think, like, I'm not an idiot. I think comics like me well enough.
Yeah.
But that's what you two are. And that's what most of the fucking rooms we go to is full of pricks like that.
Try to imagine like
Outside of
what
that,
a normal-
it's like, nah, I don't like this guy. And it's fine. Whatever.
Well, it's so funny because what comics put stock in.
is being funny.
Well, yeah. It's like, you can be any kind of degenerate, or you can literally be anything. But
long
the
as
biggest
you're
thing is
funny.
not being funny.
Yeah.
And as soon as
Yeah.
you're not funny in the comics realm, it's like, oh, he's a shit person, even if he's
Yeah.
like a really good guy. But it's not funny.
That guy's such a dick.
Yeah. Look, did you see the way he got up there and fucking... And especially if the audience love them. Like, oh, those fucking assholes. They were laughing at nothing. We're such a fucking petty, childish group of people.
Oh, totally.
Fuck yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
You think it's great?
Well, the rest of my life I'm not exposed to it. So I didn't think I don't really involve myself that much. I'm friendly with all the comedies, but I don't have time to hang out that much.
Yeah, you've got a fucking life.
Yeah.
I think it's better that way. Don't you think it's healthier that way?
I know that when I'm involved in it, like wholesale, I'm very anxious and depressed. And I get very caught up in like a high school mentality of coolness rankings and all that kind of nonsense. And I hate myself for defaulting into that.
I feel like there's heaps more joy in it when you have when you have life outside of it.
Oh, definitely.
I enjoy it
appreciate
way
it a lot
more.
more.
Yeah, I get like so much more excited about it, and I get more pumped about
Oh
it.
man, some of the best gigs I've ever had is like racing to get somewhere on my bike after working all day like an arsehole.
Because your adrenaline
to
goes.
get there and just do the gig. Oh, that's way better.
Yeah.
Just be a bloody comic. Doesn't work, but it's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Because then you have those killer gigs where you're like, should just do this full time.
Oh, probably the
And then
best
you
in the world.
Try and do
then,
it full time, and you just sleep all day and get really bummed out.
Well, yeah, and just constantly being on the road and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's a lifestyle that I think only a few people can manage to pull off and still maintain any kind of sanity or happiness. Like, we
Yeah,
know,
well,
like,
I mean,
we
if
know-
you do it right, like I did a bunch of road gigs, but it wasn't with a big agency. It was just with a young dude, and there was heaps of grotty fucking stories where I was like, I'm too old for this shit. Waking up, hearing some little loud voice go, trying to get her to suck me off behind a bush. I'm like, oh, fucking stab me now, you know? It's rough. It's real rough.
Yeah, I think
It's okay if you do it the right way, like with people who look after you, but if you're just doing it with small, like, comics who are hooking it up, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think we've aged out of that game.
I've got an unrelated question to Pride. It's more of envy, sin from me. But you did, I just remember this, and you talked about it, that was really good, and I'd really like to have done something like this. You did a gig in a prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fucking good. Like, it's and it went well, yeah.
The gig overall went very well.
Yeah.
I went well for the first few minutes and then, like, savagely ate shit after that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why? Did you do something to...
I don't even know what. I was doing a bit. It was, look, I made that mistake of, when you get up and there's certain rooms, like, especially when you go out rural areas where it's just like, you better just do punchlines.
Yeah.
Just bang, bang, bang. They don't. They're either too drunk or stupid or
No
spaced
story
out.
time.
No stories. You're not telling stories.
Yeah.
And it was very much like this in the fucking
Yeah.
prison. And it was weird, man. Like, they escorted us into the prison. We had to have all of our stuff confiscated. Not confiscated, put in lockers and stuff.
Yeah.
We're getting the full rundown from the, they're like, oh, don't make any jokes about prison rape. Don't say anything about, like, picking the soap up. Like, all these, like, don't make eye contact with the prisoners. Like,
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it was like, so I was kind of...
Were you behind any barriers?
Nah, man. We were just in a fucking rec room with these dudes, and they all get let in, and and we were like, it's all coming back to me. We were sitting on the stage, and the prison, whatever, warden or something, came out, and he's like, oh, here's some bloody muffins for you guys. And so we're there eating, like, white raspberry and white chocolate chip
Chomped on a
muffins and
hacksaw
shit.
blade.
Yeah. And then all the guys come in, and they're just escorted in. None of them have shoelaces, and, like, it's full on.
Yeah.
And I made some comment about, oh, you guys have, like, I was trying to break the ice. I was like, oh, you guys have really nice muffins here. And there's like, what fucking muffins? We don't get the muffins. So there was already this, like, fuck you. You get, like, sick muffins.
Shit. Do you reckon they did that on purpose to fuck with you?
No.
Give them muffins to eat in front of the prisoners.
And so I did that dumb thing where I was like, at first I was up there just making jokes about, being in prison and, saying stuff like, shank you very much and all that kind of stuff. And they liked that.
Shank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And then I went into, like, a long story, and they were gone.
Thank you very much.
They were gone, and then all of a sudden one of the guys just started yelling out, you look like John Howard.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was very strange. And they all start going, John Howard. At which point I just had to, like, I had to leave. Like,
Did Nikki do well? Was it with
no,
Nick?
Nick's son ate shit, as I recall. Daniel Towns did very well.
Oh, yeah, I can see Towns
and
doing
our
well.
friend that we were talking about before, Blake Mitchell, who pretended to be a baby and shit in his own nappy, destroyed. They very much liked him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I can see him destroying there.
But it was an experience that I would love to have again now. Being the comic that I am now, I think I could handle it a lot better.
Yeah.
Because I very much kind of leaned into the whole, like, this is fucking weird, rather than just, I would like to do more...
Prison gigs?
I would like to do more just weird, random gigs. Like, because especially, I don't know if you guys have this, but I have this weird perception, whereas, like, if they're not a fucking comedy audience or an inner city...
Crowd.
Hipster crowd, they're not going to get comedy.
Yeah.
And it's so, like, I did a gig in Western Australia. It was like a cabaret. It was at a cabaret bar, dinner and show for like 70 and 80-year-olds all eating steaks and
Jesus Christ.
schnitzels and shit.
Yeah.
And we'd just come from like a club environment, which was loose as fuck. And we had to, like, run to this other gig. And I was glad I did the gig before it because I was in a good space. But if I just walked into there, I would have shat myself. I was like, this is untenable.
Yeah.
It's like a giant cavernous room and everyone's eating food.
Yeah.
And I've got nothing but filth to peddle and blah, blah, blah. And they're all old. You have that whole thing in your head. But I just went out and I was just like, oh, we've been out the back. Everyone's stressing that you guys are all old, that you're not going to laugh. But you guys are the ones that invented smoking cock and punching cones. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it made me really want to do, like, I'd love to do...
Way more old home gigs.
I think it'd be I think it'd be a great TV series in that, like, gigs in weird places.
Yeah.
Like gigs at a fucking retirement home or a gig at a
Done
prison.
one. Have you done a retirement home gig?
No.
Did you say done what?
Yeah.
How was that?
Bad. Yeah, they
But
weren't.
was it a retirement home? Was it like a death, like God's waiting room retirement home?
Oh, no, they weren't. in hospital beds or anything, but they were all, it was
elderly.
Oh, very. Yeah, it was retirement home.
And they didn't like you?
No, not at all. Not at all.
See, I don't know. Like, I think it would be really interesting to figure out how to fucking access those different
Sometimes they're fun
tones.
because your adrenaline's going so mental. I did that gig for the Jewish charity in the synagogue, and that was full on, but that ended up being fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But it was me and a bunch of Orthodox Jewish people, and that was
I think if you
left
call
of centre, but it was great.
I think if you call the reality of it, like the other two weird things I've done is I did a Christian single night once, which was fun. It was so fucked up. It got sprung on me as I got to the gig. They were just like, just so you know, the entire audience is Christian singles all out on their first date, with their potential new.
You think they'd be okay because they're nervous? They need to like laugh and get.
Well, this was like years ago, so literally all I had was meow meow meow, fucking cunt, shit, piss. Wank.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So I was like, they're going to hurt me. But I just got up and, it's that weird trick that you play where you're like, everyone at the back saying that you guys are too weak to deal with this. And I told them you can, so don't prove me wrong. And then you unleash filth and they're all, think it's funny. So there was that one and then there was another one for the Atheist Society, which is a very strange one.
That'd be fun because you'd just be angry at them, I imagine.
Well, I think everyone that got hired to do the gig was thought of as an atheist, but everyone wasn't, and is like some weird, magic mushroom fucking head tripper or spiritual person or something.
It's like the whole thing about religion. I grew up in religious schools and shit, but the worst part about it was having to gather.
Yeah.
Like, I don't belong to any club.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I fucking hate clubs.
Yeah, totally.
And they've formed a fucking club. One of the worst aspects of religion, they've taken that.
Yeah.
And left out the God stuff, and that's it. They've still got.
But that's what I said. Like I said to them all, I was just like, so you guys are all atheists, and they're like, yeah. And I was like, so by atheist you just mean ex-Catholic, and they were like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's the point. I wasn't raised with religion, so I don't have this need
staunch.
This staunch fucking. That's not true. It's like, yeah, of course it's not true. I don't need to fucking tell myself that every 5 minutes. It's like I'm not trying to deprogram myself from when I was convinced that was real.
Yeah.
But they were a humorless
That's
bunch.
not surprising. Jewish gig, full of laughs.
Yeah, of course, man. The Jews know how to laugh.
Man, it was great.
Atheists, not so much.
I was wearing pants, felt a bit rude, but apart from that, all the women had skirts. You can't wear pants in the synagogue.
It's true.
And I was rocking some black pants.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was
You're a
great.
modern secular woman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think.
The atheists
great.
booed me when I said that I'm an agnostic.
Of course
Like,
they
I'm an
did.
agnostic,
You're
and
not
they were
part of their cult.
Boo! Like, boo? How do you boo? I don't know.
Surprised they don't wear something around their
Great.
neck with a little symbol.
Well, they wear a brooch.
Oh, God.
Like, it
They
looks
wear
like the
a brooch?
Anarchy A. Like,
Do they really
They
wear a
do.
brooch?
They've all got a brooch.
They're all wearing brooches, like with an
that's just-
anarchy, like not an Anarchy A, but a similar kind of like.
That's
this
so
is our
fucking
Soon
sad.
atheists will have a fucking god.
fucking-
Well, they've done
they do.
everything else. They've got-
Dawkins.
Dawkins is their god.
Dawkins and Hitchens.
Isn't he their god?
Dawkins, Hitchens, and Sam
Pretty
Harris.
sure that's who they
Fucking
pray
hell.
to.
One of the best double episodes of South Park was flashing forward into the 500 years into the future, where Richard Dawkins had become the atheist god.
Oh, right.
And there's 4 different factions of warring atheists that are all like,
Yeah.
it's that kind of Life of Brian thing where they're all fighting over what the atheist should be called.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant. No, it is. It's just, I think it's popular to say it's just another form of religion. I don't think it's as bad as religion, but you could see how it
Oh, it can be pretty fucking obnoxious and full on.
Well, I
It'd be
don't
nice if they brought tax breaks out for people with no god.
Yeah.
I mean, she's fucking sick. You might just start an organisation not ever paying tax again. Amazing.
Did you ever have God in your life?
I went to Catholic schools.
What's that like?
But, I mean, I wasn't a boarder, so there was no fucking
messiness.
sexy time or anything. But there certainly was going on
Sexy time.
there were boarders who were fucking had a much worse time than I did.
Yeah.
did
It was
you
more
buy it?
violent for me than it was. No, I wasn't violent. Yeah, we got shit. Like I was on the tail end of like 6 of the best.
What does that
like
mean?
Getting a boot up the arse. Like,
Oh, right.
like getting fucking the cuts across your hand for doing something wrong and. the
Oh,
strap.
really?
Each teacher had their own variation of
The
weapon.
strap.
It's
Fucking hell.
really crazy when you think that wasn't that long ago.
No,
No, that was 80s. That was,
Yeah.
Oh, we were getting flogged.
Did you
that's so fucked up.
did you believe in any of that when you were in it?
Not really. No, I don't recall. I mean, I remember having to go to church and stuff, but no, never really
You weren't like in fear
got
of
amongst it.
Jesus.
My parents weren't mad about it either. Like, it was just.
Was it a cultural thing or was it just the school near you?
It was schools near us, and they were good schools. It wasn't as fanatic Catholicism that was rammed down our throats, but we certainly had to go to church every Wednesday morning or something. But I never went on the weekends. My
So
parents didn't make us
unseemly.
do that, and then there was that sort of stuff. I was never altar boyish or any of that sort of thing. It was a fairly mild version of it.
Yeah.
There's this Catholic
business.
school up the road from my place, and like in the playground, there's this. It's like huge, giant crucifix with this emaciated, miserable Jesus hanging off it.
Great
There's
abs.
Yeah, great. you do have to hold yourself up on that thing. Yeah, and he's just like bleeding and weeping, and it's just like, man, like it's a fucking kid's playground. Like, what are we doing? What is this? Very strange.
Yeah. Oh, our kids are at school that doesn't have religion. It's quite nice. There's no,
Is
no
your
question.
partner religious?
No.
Makes it a bit easier, I guess.
Yeah, it's easy.
I don't know if I could. But I couldn't be with someone who was like full on either way. Like if someone who was like a staunch atheist, it sort of shits me.
I can't handle anyone that thinks that they've got any kind of like monopoly on the what's going on in reality. It's like, man, like by all means have your stories, but I've got my stories that I wouldn't even call them beliefs. They're just things that I like to think might be what is going on.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a hardcore atheist.
Yeah, staunch anything's fucked though. Like
especially about shit that you cannot have no cause to ever know. It's just like, well, you can't know.
I'm open to being proven wrong. It's never happened, but when it does, I'll be open to it.
Do you have any belief or anything?
No, not in that realm.
No?
No.
Just like when meat and when you die, that's it?
Yeah.
Go back to the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fine.
See, I'm like
Fucking
halfway
whatever.
between.
And I don't care.
Halfway between what?
Halfway
That
between
and-
that and,
There must be something.
Well, not. I do think that when you die, you're like you, Luke Heggie, me, Ben Ellwood, you, Jen Carnovale, are dead.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you cease to exist. But I would like to think that there is some kind of energetic flow that reconfigures into different things.
Oh, we'd all like to think. I'd love to fucking think it's true. That'd be brilliant. Can you imagine just flying around afterwards? That's what it's built on.
Yeah,
That's fucking amazing.
But this idea that,
Of course.
this religious idea that, you will exist forever. And I can't think of anything more exhausting than being me for eternity. It's like, well, because so much of who you are is your anxieties and your issues and all that stuff. So do you carry that through? Because if you lost all that at death and you didn't have that in heaven, then would you even be you?
You just keep going.
Oh, God. You know what I mean? Like the idea that I'll be dead one day is quite a relief. Like, I don't mean that in
fucking good rest.
Yeah, like I don't mean that in a nihilistic kind of like, I wish I was dead. Like I hope I get as much life as I can. But the idea of it going forever, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Like I'm already tired. I'm 37 and I'm exhausted. I'm so fucking tired.
Sleep. It's just just
It's like it doesn't stop. It's just on and again. And here we go again. And another day and another day.
Yeah.
Trying to keep the shit together all the fucking time.
I don't mind life.
No, I love life. But don't you feel like it's also this thing of like you're trying to fucking keep a lid on shit?
No, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't feel like I'm going to go mental, no, if that's what you're asking.
I feel like if I lived for a long enough timeline, I would eventually like go mental.
What's that?
Like
80?
a couple of 100 years.
Oh, a couple of
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
After
After,
like,
like-
20.
Fucking-
Yeah, a couple of
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're going to lose their shit after a couple of hundred.
Yeah, I just feel like you just like, if for no other reason than just boredom, like you'd be one like, oh, I wonder what it's like to be insane for a couple of decades. I guess I'll just try that for a while.
Yeah.
See if there's any enlightenment in that.
They all say there is.
In madness.
Yeah. I mean, people have been mad, or people have fucking just fucked themselves up on something, on whatever, or done.
Yeah, but you're talking temporary drug-induced madness?
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah, there's that,
madness?
and just, drug-induced, I suppose, yeah.
I think I've been both at certain points in my life. There's a wisdom to be gained, but not when you're in it.
Yeah,
Like
right.
there was a couple of years where I was like crazy, like pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like not it's true.
I know.
like completely non-functional, like just a fucking homunculus.
Yeah.
Like and just like paranoid and out of my fucking mind. And there was no like there's a lot of wisdom to be gained from it after the fact. But when you're
If you got the power to get out of it and reflect on it.
Well, Luke Heggie, thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Thank you. How can people find you on the internet?
I don't know. Whatever, just look me up. They can find me.
What word do you want to chuck in the hat, Luke? Because we asked the guests to give us a word.
Oh, okay. Just one word.
Oh, you can give us a few.
Oh, righto.
If you so wish.
Larrikinism.
Very good.
Yeah.
Just how fucking proud Australians are of their larrikin roots. Should they be or not? I don't know.
Thank you, Luke.